The finality of it all hung heavy in the air, thick as the dust motes dancing in the last rays of afternoon sun slanting through the grimy windows. The Northwood County Animal Shelter was closing its doors for good. For weeks, a frantic effort had seen every dog and cat adopted, transferred, or fostered. Every cage was now hauntingly empty, scrubbed clean and standing open like a silent mouth. Every cage but one. In the very last kennel sat Casper, a 10-year-old husky mix with eyes the color of a cloudy sky. Casper was blind. He had been found as a stray years ago, and his disability, combined with his age, had made him invisible to potential adopters. He was a gentle, quiet soul who navigated his small world through sound and scent. But now, his world was about to end. The shelter's director, a kind but weary woman named Sarah, had made dozens of calls. No rescues had space. Her time was up. With a heart that felt like a lead weight in her chest, she had scheduled a mobile vet to come at 5 p.m. It was the only option left. It was 4:45. Casper could sense the emptiness. The familiar sounds of barking, the scent of other animals, the footsteps of the staff, they were all gone. There was only the sound of Sarah's quiet sobbing as she sat on the floor outside his kennel, her hand resting on the wire mesh. "I'm so sorry, boy," she whispered, tears rolling down her cheeks. "I failed you." Casper whined softly, pressing his head against the cage towards her hand, offering a comfort he couldn't possibly understand. He was about to be denied forever. The clock on the wall ticked mercilessly. 4:55. Sarah stood up, her face a mask of grief, preparing to walk Casper to the front office for the last time. At that exact moment, the front door of the shelter creaked open. Both Sarah and Casper started, the sound echoing in the cavernous silence. A man stood silhouetted in the doorway. He was older, with a weathered face and kind eyes. "I know you're closing," he said, his voice raspy. "I'm sorry to be so late. I got held up. But I saw the post online, about the last dog, the blind one. Is he still here?" Sarah's heart leaped into her throat. She could barely speak. "Yes," she choked out. "He's right here. His name is Casper." The man walked slowly down the aisle, his footsteps sure and steady. He stopped in front of Casper's cage and knelt down, his eyes never leaving the dog. Casper, who would normally be wary of a stranger's scent, became strangely calm. His ears perked, his tail gave a single tentative wag. "Hello, Casper," the man said softly. And then he said something that made Sarah's world stop. "My name is David. It's been a long time." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small worn leather pouch. From it, he produced a tiny tarnished silver bell. He gave it a gentle shake. The bell let out a clear, high-pitched jingle. At the sound, Casper froze. His head snapped up. A low whimper escaped his throat. He began to pace back and forth, his agitation growing, his tail now wagging furiously. He pressed his body against the kennel door, whining, desperate. It was a sound of pure, unadulterated recognition. Tears now streamed down the man's face. "I knew it was you," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. He looked at Sarah, his eyes shining. "This dog, he was my dog. His name wasn't Casper, it was Storm. He went missing 5 years ago during a camping trip. A flash flood separated us. I searched for months, years. I never gave up hope." The bell, he explained, was something he had put on Storm's collar as a puppy, so he could always hear where he was. It was their sound. Sarah, weeping openly, fumbled with the latch and opened the door. The dog, Storm, rushed out and into David's arms. He licked the man's face, circling him, making small, joyful noises. It was a reunion 5 years in the making. The dog wasn't just being saved from death, he was being returned to his life, his identity, his person. The blind dog who had been lost for so long had finally been found. His fate wasn't sealed after all. It was just waiting for the sound of a small silver bell to call him home. The mobile vet arrived at 5 p.m. to an empty shelter. David filled out the paperwork, his hand resting on Storm's back the entire time. As they walked out the door together, leaving the closing shelter to its silence, Sarah watched them go, her heart overflowing. She had witnessed more than an adoption. She had witnessed a miracle against all odds. Sometimes, even when all hope seems lost and the world has gone dark, a single sound from the past can light the way home. It proves that love never forgets, and true bonds can never truly be broken by time, distance, or even blindness.